Hiya, kids and cadets. Welcome back to Tommy Time. So I was out here in the yard working on different projects. I saw the neighborhood scrapper drive by, the guy that sold me 4 units for $100 right around Christmas. So he had his trailer hooked to the truck. I didn't see any scrap on the truck. Maybe he saw me in the yard. He swung back by a little later with this fine beauty. So let's look at this. I gave $30 for it. I kind of gave it the once over. I pulled on the recoil. There was no restriction. I tipped it upside down. It had a blade. I told him thank you very much and gave him 30 bucks. And this is where we are. He said it's missing the cover and the filter. I said that's fine. I'll come up with something. So a lot of sand here, a lot of sand here, a lot of sand here. Left the fuel switch to on. Honda GCV160, like I said, 2019, according to the EPA sticker. Kind of looked at the oil once he left just to get an idea of what it looked like, and it's got fresh oil in it. I should probably wipe the dipstick, let the dipstick rest there on the top, and then take my reading. So why don't I do that? That's the proper method. You don't screw it back down like you would a Briggs and Stratton. So let me grab a paper towel, which I have here. Kind of an overcast day today, but it's mild, probably 75. But no sun. That hurts tourism. People come here for sunshine in the winter months. Okay, we're right here on the dipstick, so there's enough oil in it. Could use a tad more to bring it up, but that's how you check your oil on these GCVs. Put your dipstick right on the threads, don't screw it down. Blade wasn't sandblasted. It is dull but not worn out. I don't think this has been used a lot since 2019. It's been sitting maybe outside. You got some mold here, or in a shed, some damp environment. So with that dampness, did the previous owner use non-ethanol fuel? Well, we're gonna find out. Let's bring you here. I've got my melted turkey baster. We're gonna bring the turkey baster up and say hi to Mr. Chicken. Since they're both foul, we're gonna do a little hello. Okay, there's fuel in it, and it's not past the indicator here. You never want to bring your fuel level up into this area. This here is a little template. You don't want to fill this space with fuel. This needs to be left open for breathing room. So there's maybe that much in the tank down there. It's kind of hard to tell what it looks like, but we're gonna suck some of it out of the depths of this tank. I was in Dollar Tree looking for these to get a couple extras, and I couldn't find any. So maybe somebody's caught on to my trick. Okay, not bad. A little bit of debris, but I don't see any large amounts of water down there. There is some snot, a couple of drops maybe, but maybe we got a spark issue. Let me Let me put the guide back in. Let's just try pulling on it. This is an automatic choke. Let's see if it does anything. Okay, it feels like it has compression, but it's not doing crap. Where's my happy juice? Okay, I got happy juice. I was using it earlier on another video. This makes me happy. If it fires off with this, we know we just got to clean the carburetor and the fuel tank. That makes me extremely happy. Then I know we're not dealing with a spark issue or a timing issue. Okay, that bounced Mr. Snake off of the top of the machine, so it did start and stall. So now we're looking at a carb clean. I like these Honda GCVs because they're basically a 10 millimeter socket all the way around. 10 to take off the recoil and 10 to take off the carburetor, and the bowl's at 10. So all you need is a 10. Hell, you could use an open end wrench if that's all you had, and you could service this piece of crap. Let's put it up on my table. I got my table out here. And I've got compressed air. They had this thing really, really close to the ground. You shouldn't have your deck cutting it that low. So before I forget, let me pull the plug wire, because I'm Mr. Safety today. If I can get the stupid plug wire off. That was on there tight. What's on there? NGK, that's what I want to see. Quality plug for a quality machine. Okay, let me start pumping this thing. So like I said, gave 30 for it. If I can come up with a bag, this is going to be 150 all summer long. So this will be a money maker if I can get this turd to start. Troy-Bilt name, and it's got a Honda engine. People recognize Troy-Bilt as a quality machine. Okay, let's put you right about there, I think, and then we'll adjust as necessary. Okay, let's go to town. This shouldn't take us long. Let's go to town and make some money, honey. Bring home the bacon, snakin'. Okay, put the recoil to the side. Now I got full access to what I want. What does this have? The little wax? Yeah, it's got the waxy wax automatic crapola system, which I have a couple in stock. But I think our fuel, we're going to know here in a minute when we drop the bowl. Speaking of dropping the bowl, I got to come up with a little bowl to dump that sample in. So let me quickly grab that so I'm prepared. I thought I had something around here a minute ago. Darn it. Let me get started on the tear down. Oh, it's right in front of me, that's why. Okay, let's go to town. Notice a lot of sand here on the intake. One, two, buckle my shoe. 3, 4, out the door. Probably should put this to off on the fuel. This is kind of in my way. The hose is a little tight. Give it a little motivation twist. It complied. Put this to the side. I'll put Mr. Chicken in charge of holding that down. He seems to agree. Gasket, set that there the right way it came off so I don't mess that up. Take the fuel off here. We're going to have a little bit of a dribble, but my shut off is off, so we're not going to lose a lot of fuel. I hope you guys are fixing stuff up north. I know weather had been an issue for you guys, but maybe you can sell snow blowers. But I don't think you've gotten snow, or maybe you have and it's melted. You can't blow melted snow. I'm kind of destroying the hose here. Okay, try to jimmy that up so I don't leak anything out. Take out my linkage. Start with the spring first, and then this is a Z-bend. Spring to the outside, Z-bend to the inside. You can't screw it up because you can't put the Z-bend into that little hole. So Honda engineers are the best. Okay, usually this falls down here on the automatic chokey choke, but it's staying in place, so I'm not going to cluck with it. I'm going to leave that alone. Let me grab the 10 here. I'm going to impact this 10 off. But before I do, let me get my container up here. Okay, I had a little bit of gas in it from an earlier deal when we just took the sample here, so I got rid of that sample gas. Now we're going to see what's in the bowl. Okay, right away, see the nut? The nut's rusty. That means the bowl's going to have rust in it. See that? That's my first indication of trouble. I know what lies ahead. Oh, gumminess. We got varnish. It's molasses, but it's cleaning up. Ta-da! So a little manual labor, and we're going to have this thing cleaned up. Let me grab my multi-function brush, which I was using earlier on another project. I'm just going to see how caked up this varnish is. Okay, it's granular like sand. I don't know what the hell was in the fuel, but it wasn't good. Oh yeah, it stinks. Stinkometer just hit the roof. I can really smell this now. That old varnishy 2-year-old gas. Smells like it, at least. I don't know how long this thing was sitting. They could have had gas in a container and then contaminated this thing. I'm going to use a little bit of gas that's in here and clean up the bowl. Waste not, want not. That helped. Let me get a pick or a screwdriver and get that last little bit of hardened varnish down there. Then we'll go to town on the main body. That may be rust. It feels rough with the blade of the screwdriver, so we may have some rust pockets down there. Yeah, the scaliness is gone, but there's roughness behind. Let me go over it one more time, and then I'm going to move on to the main body, because this is as good as it's going to get. So the water that was in the bottom of this thing rusted up the bowl. Okay, as my dad would say, good enough for a Greek church. I don't know what that means. If any of you guys that are Greek can tell me, good enough for a Greek church. No idea. He was in the Navy, World War II, on a cargo ship. Anyway, so that's that. He was a quartermaster. And you think Army quartermaster takes care of supplies. Quartermaster on a Navy ship. He was basically the navigator. He was extremely good at math. So that's that. Some scale there. but that's coming off. I'm going to stick a wire down into the main jet, but I'm afraid with this gumminess it may be sticky. I'd like to get it out. Let me blast it and try to soften it up. Okay, the spray isn't going down, so that means it's clogged up, probably gummy. Okay, I think I just broke it free. Really helps if you can get the jet out. There it is, and the spray is still accumulating here at the opening. It's not moving through, so we got to poke this thing open. Go to the throat. There's my little brass emulsion tube sticking its ugly head up. We got to push him down. Tappy tap. This one came out easy, but there's some buildup on this thing. Not terrible, but there's some here we got to get rid of. Let's start out first with the main jet. Let me get a poker. Okay, I got a wire here, a really thin wire. Yeah, I can feel the gumminess. Now I can see daylight. I couldn't before, but now I can. I'm going to take my brush and just kind of clean up the gumminess right there. Grab my compressed air, hold on tight. And it's still open. So throw that in the bowl for safekeeping. Now let me blast some carb cleaner here. Use my brush again and kind of break up that gumminess. Switch fingers, go to this end. Okay, I think I can see through all the holes. I don't think I gotta do anything. I'm gonna block one end with my finger and blast through the top here. Use some compressed air. Got a whiff of stale gas when I did that. Okay, holding it up to the light. I'm free and clear on all of them. So this is ready to go. Let's spray a little bit around here to get that residue. And then we'll take off the secondary jet with the Phillips. I'm feeling a little water droplets. We're going to keep plowing ahead. Let me get rid of some of this debris. Okay, it's tight, so I'm going to take some vice grips and just break the tension so I don't destroy it, or some channel locks. Just put them on there and give it a twist. Okay, broke the tension. You do that a lot on motorcycle carburetors, stuff that's been sitting for 50 years. You don't want to screw up the head here. So I'm going to put a little bit of carb clean down and watch it empty out. So it is moving. It is draining down. Slowly. I'm going to help it with that wire and poke it. Because I think it might be pooling up. It might be a smaller opening than what I got here. Okay, that blast seemed to pick up the pace. Do a little cleanup on the wafer. Okay. I think that this cleaning helped. So I'm going to put it all back together again. I got to keep holding this up because the camera angle is up. You guys aren't seeing anything. Okay, snuggy, snuggy. It's brass, it's soft. Don't get nuts. Don't go nuts on it. That's rust pitting down there. There's nothing I can do about that. But I got rid of the scaly stuff that could break off. Am I missing anything? No, we're going to put this on, tighten this down, And then I got the Phillips up here to go for the idle secondary jet. This key and carburetor is going to be as good as new. The ALBB. Or the 76AA or the JC15. Some of those might be production numbers. Okay, I'm looking for a 10 millimeter open end so I can just snug this down by hand, because I don't want to over torque it. Okay, that's snug. That's snug. Okay, we're ready to put it back on. Let me bring you back up. Okay, spring, then the Z-bend. I wonder if we should probably drain the fuel in the tank. What do you say? Yeah, why don't we do that? Kind of move the tank up a little higher, turn the valve to on, and let this thing drain out. No sense in putting bad gas back into our system after I painstakingly clean the carburetor. There wasn't much in here. It's not going to take long for that to drain out. We're almost down there, and what I'll do is give it a quick blast of air into the tank to force the fuel out of the hose. So hopefully this starts. I feel good about it. I think it'll start. So another case of old gas gumming up the carburetor. If you're going to use regular 10% ethanol, use some sort of stabilizer, stable. Probably wouldn't hurt to use stable with the ethanol free as well. We got low ceilings today. I can't even identify that plane coming in, but there is a jet coming into Southwest Florida. So he's earning his pay today. If he's IFR, he can't see shit, and he's doing an instrument approach. Okay, we're getting down there. Okay, it's kind of just dribbling. Let me blast some compressed air. Hopefully I don't blast this container into myself. Okay, that looks like I got most of it. It started bubbling up down here. What I'm going to do is blast some air backwards. Yeah, we got a little mist popping up through the top of the tank, so we got free airflow. Okay, now let's start lining this stuff up. I'm going to put my screws through. Are you with me? The gasket as it came off, which is like that. I'm going to thread it onto the bolts. Okay, got that on. Well, we got some space. Let's force the fuel line onto the brass nipple. Okay, that's on. This breather tube out of the way. Okay, now I can put this top hose on the air breather, and I'm just going to start threading the bolts all the way through the carb, line them up with this plastic, the plastic spacer, which stayed in place. I didn't have to cluck with that. Made it easier on my lineup that I didn't have to screw with that. Going to snug these up by hand. This one here doesn't seem to want to get started. Let's pull the plug off since I've got the, there was a lizard here. I thought it was a piece of stick, but it's a lizard. I hope I didn't crush him. Oh, unfortunately, he didn't survive. Well, that's too bad. He may have been in there when we tried to start it. He may be shaken up. I don't know. It's not terribly cold. You'll see him hanging around when it's cold. But it's about 75 and it's gonna rain. Actually, I may just put the recoil on and try to start this thing because I think we're going to get a little thunderstorm here. I'm not going to mess with the taking the plug out. Sorry, buddy, I didn't know you were in there, or I wouldn't have started it. I know it was a good place to hide, but not when I'm trying to start the engine. Okay, take a quick look. I don't see any of his cousins hanging about. Okay, put this cap on just temporarily because I don't want any rainwater going in the tank. Well, darn it, I didn't time this project too good. I'm going to have to run like hell to throw this on the ground, put some gas in it, and see if our efforts were successful. You guys are probably Probably tired of looking at him. Right? What do they do at the morgue? Okay, we'll get this thing down. Because I think it's all back together. Linkage is free and clear. We know we got good oil, enough oil. Kind of rough weather lately. It'll be nice, and then it just turned crappy here and wet and rainy. Wet and rainy. Okay, I'm going to put these wheels up. This is driving me bananas. Okay. I don't want to pour gas onto Mr. Cluck. That would be unpleasant. His feathers would fall off. A little bit of fuel left in the tank here. I see it down there. Hopefully it's not going to screw us up. If I'm adding this fresh non-ethanol to it, hopefully it dissipates that little bit of bad gas down there. Okay, so gave that a good pour. Cross your fingers. Fuel's on the on position. Give it a second to fill the bowl. Let me reach down here. Okay, drier than a baby's bottom, a happy baby's bottom. There's no weeping, no fuel dripping, so that's good. Let's pull on this turd. And see if it's going to do anything for us. Okay, perfect timing. We had success and it's starting to pick up on the rain. Mr. Cluck and I thank you for coming out. I'm going to run for cover as soon as I put some of these tools up. So tip your waitress and wait staff. I'm glad this one was an easy remove and replace, as they say in the industry. Cleaned up the carburetor, got that gumminess out, and we had success. So thanks for coming out to Tommy Time. Come back and see me. I'm going to run for cover before I melt, or my iPad melts. I can't have any short circuits. See you. Come back and see me. Subscribe, like, and subscribe. Over and out.